Hi guys, it's Crystal with Design Bundles. Today we're going to talk Chromoblast ink versus Poly T. One is going to cost you almost $600 to get started, and the other is going to cost you 20 bucks. So both of these products are going to allow you to basically sublimate on 100% cotton. Now I know it's a big controversy whenever people say that's not technically sublimating whenever you use these products. This is going to, for example, this right here is going to add a polyester coating on your t-shirt to allow you to sublimate. Where this one right here is a special ink that's going to go on this special paper right here, and it's going to be a transfer. So some people consider this close to heat transfer paper that you can print with your inkjet printer. So some people definitely compare those two together. One can be printed with sublimation ink, one can be printed with your inkjet printer. Now, both of these are considered sublimation. They're going to do the same thing and allow you both to do the 100% cotton. Now, you can definitely do the blends as well. You don't have to just stick with 100% cotton. It's just going to be the alternative to allow you to get those designs on a t-shirt. So whenever we say this is going to allow you to sublimate on 100% cotton, it's going to allow you to get those one print designs without having to do a bunch of vinyl or anything like that. So let's go ahead and talk about number one, the price. It's going to cost you around $600 to get started. You're going to need your ink along with your printer. They only have this available for the Sawgrass printers, and you can use it for both your SG500 and SG1000 printers. So if you guys decide that you want to go with Chromoblast, you can't switch it to regular sublimation ink. So you'll have to purchase a separate sublimation printer. So once again, going to cost you around $600. For the Poly T spray, you're just going to need your spray, possibly some desizer. Poly T now has Poly T Pro, which is a 2-in-1. So both of these bottles is in one, so you can get that product as well. Same price. And it's just a one-step process, where this, for example, is two-step. But you're talking $20 to $30 to get started compared to $600. So you're going to need that, some parchment paper, and that's about it. So you are going to have a two-step process for the Poly T, where you're simply going to print out your design and you're going to press it. Now today we're going to do a wash test to see which one holds up better. For one, I will say price difference, you know, if you're just wanting to sublimate on a few cotton t-shirts, definitely just go with a Poly T. Now we will wait for the final wash test to make up our mind whether which one's going to work better, last longer, and then make that decision there. But when it does come price-wise, I would say that Poly T is going to beat the Chromoblast, because, you know, you can keep this product on hand and it's not going to cost you as much as it will for the Chromoblast. One little bottle of this, for example, a 32 ounce, which is 30 bucks, is going to get you 240 t-shirts. So it does do quite a bit of t-shirts, and it doesn't take a whole lot of stuff. You're not going to need the papers or anything. You're going to need the inks as well as the special Chromoblast paper for this one. So let's go ahead and get started and do a versus. Let's start off with a Chromoblast. You're simply going to take your t-shirt, both of them. I'm going to use the exact same design. So here is our printed designs. This is the Poly T spray. You're just going to simply print this out with any sublimation printer. It could be Sawgrass, Epson, whichever one you prefer, on regular basic sublimation paper. So just as you normally would with your sublimation, and that's what this one looks like. For this one here, as you guys can see, it's printed on that special Chromoblast paper, and this is what this print looks like versus the sublimation, so you guys can see those colors there. So let's go ahead and press these, see how they look pressed and how they do through the wash. So let's start off with our Chromoblast ink. Both of them, we're going to use the exact same white t-shirt, same design, 100% cotton. So we're going to go ahead and pull out our moisture on the Chromoblast. So we're going to do that now. So I'm just going to go ahead and pre-press. All right, so now that we have this pre-pressed, I'm going to go ahead and bring it back over here, and I'm going to go ahead and lint roll. So I'm going to go ahead and get our lint roller here and just remove any sort of lint. So for both of these products, if you don't lint roll first, you can get that trapped underneath the coating. So definitely make sure you don't skip that step. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and line this back up here. We're ready to go. For the Chromoblast ink, it is $3.75 for 30 seconds. When it comes to the Poly T, it's $3.85 for 70 seconds. So your temperature will go up. So for the cotton, sometimes you can burn those. I will say that the Chromoblast is a lot easier on the cotton because it's only going to be 30 seconds. All right, so we're happy with that. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our design. I'm gonna go ahead and line this up where I want it to be. All right, so let's go ahead and press it. So we're gonna go ahead and swing this around, press it for 375 for 30 seconds. Now, whenever it comes to Chromoblast, you want to go ahead and peel that really quick while those inks, it's like that material is nice and warm and hot, if you will. You definitely want to peel it right away. You can also kind of stretch the t-shirt like this just a little bit to help kind of release that if you need to. But the hotter, it's going to peel a lot faster and easier. All right, so we're going to be ready to peel. So we're going to go ahead and move this out of our way. And then we are just gonna get a corner here and peel. And there you have it. This is the Chromoblast. Now let me tell you guys, when it comes to Chromoblast, what I like to do. I like to go one step further, place it back on the press. I feel like this just kind of smooths everything out. I'll take a piece of parchment paper and press it for maybe 2 seconds. It does not take no time at all. What this is gonna do is make it nice and smooth. It's gonna smooth out that texture. All right, so you're just gonna go ahead and peel that. And now I think it's good to go. And there you guys have it. You guys can see how nice those colors are with the Chromoblast. This does have a little bit of texture to it. The texture that this reminds me of is screen print. That's the texture that I get from this. So it's really nice. If you guys want like a little screen print hack, you guys can definitely do that with the Chromoblast ink. So let's go ahead and set this out of the way here. And let's move on to our Poly T. So once again, this is basically, if you were gonna sublimate, this is ready to go. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is prep up our t-shirt. I'm gonna go ahead and lint roll right away, just because I wanna go ahead and remove any of that lint. You could do this after you desize it if you would like. Now, like I said, this is a 2-step process, so you definitely wanna use this desizer everywhere that your design is gonna be. If you skip this, some of it might wash out. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Once we have this coated, you could get yourself a foam brush and roll this around just to kind of make sure everything's nice and coated. All right, so I've went ahead and covered that with a piece of parchment paper, butcher paper, blowout paper, whichever one you prefer. This is actually blowout paper. So you're just basically drying the t-shirt at this point. Before we get started, let's actually bump our press up to that 385 for 70 seconds. All right, so now we have removed our sizing. Let's go ahead and apply the Poly T. So what we wanna do is 2 layers. First, we're going to spray this on and get it nice and soaked. We're gonna go ahead and press it, and then we're gonna go ahead and spray it one more time. So you want 2 coats. The second coat is gonna just be a thin layer. So what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that you're gonna spray everywhere this design is gonna be. You don't wanna get this wet, so you can take a scrap piece of paper, cardboard, figure out about where you want that to be. So you can just spray all 4 corners here, just like that, just to kind of see and visually know where all you need to spray. So now that I have my markers, I can take my Poly T here and I can start to spray my t-shirt. So I wanna make sure I get this nice and soaked. Once again, you can use a foam roller to really spread this stuff out. All right, so now that we have this nice and wet here, obviously you don't have to have it soaking wet, but you wanna have nice coverage. We're ready to go. So we're gonna press this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a butcher paper on the bottom. But when it comes to the top, we wanna use parchment paper. So what we're doing is we're putting a polyester coating. So we're just gonna go ahead and get this under the press. So I'm gonna take a couple pieces of butcher paper here because you wanna make sure you cover that area. We wanna protect our platen. So I'm just gonna go ahead and press this for around 30 seconds. You wanna do this around 320, a low temp, 320 for around 30 seconds. So 20 to 30 seconds. So you guys can hopefully maybe see the steam. There's a lot of steam coming out of here. This is completely normal. This is part of the process. So you want to go ahead and get back. You really don't want to be breathing all that in. All right, so now that we have our first layer of the Poly T, let's go ahead and do it one more time. So as you guys can see so far with the Poly T, you guys are going to have several steps you've got to do. So if you guys had a t-shirt business, it may be a lot easier to get something like the Chromoblast for your 100% cotton garments because it's simple as printing it and pressing it. So yes, it is an investment in the beginning to get started with it, but you will get a ton of prints. So there is some perks and downsides when it comes to the Poly T because it is a process. Now, if you guys are an at-home crafter or small business, the Poly T is gonna be just fine. So you guys can see so far with this Poly T, now that we have this coating, you guys can see those bins. It's not just nice and smooth like down here where it doesn't have it. You guys can see how much, this has like a thickness to it now, if you will. So this has its coating, everything's ready to go for it. So now we're just gonna go ahead and sublimate our design. So we're gonna go ahead and take this back over to the press. I don't have nothing on the bottom platen this time. I don't need to protect that. I'm gonna go ahead and get this up here. So now we're ready to press it. So we're gonna go ahead and apply our paper here. So we have our sublimation design down, our parchment paper, and now we're ready to press. So this time we're pressing 385 for 70 seconds. So like I said, with a Chromoblast, you're at 375, lower temp, and less time. So you're at 30 seconds. You're going to print, press, you're gonna have desizing, poly-T, and then pressing your design. So there is several steps when it comes to poly-T, but you're looking at 20 bucks versus $600 to get started. You are going to get tons of prints out of both of them. I will say that so far I say the Chromoblast is definitely a better way to go whenever it comes business-wise, when you have those really fast turnarounds, because this is going to take a process. Now, you can definitely, take the sizing out of all of your t-shirts one day, have them ready to go. You can pre-treat your t-shirts way ahead of time and press them whenever. So one day you can always go through your studio and, do the poly-T on 100 t-shirts and have them ready to go. After that, you're just sublimating on them. So that definitely is an option as well. All right, so we're gonna move that. And it's going to be just like sublimation. So you're just simply going to pill your corner and you are good to go. So you guys can see that here. So you guys can see that print. These are both with the Sawgrass printer. So the poly-T, this is with the Sawgrass SG500 with the sublimation inks. This one is smooth, kind of like vinyl, if you will. But like I said, this definitely will listen up once we do a wash. So let's go ahead and do a wash test and we'll be back. So I have officially put both of these through the wash and the dryer, just in case you guys are going to be sticking yours in the dryer to see how they will hold up. So both of them have completely went through one full wash cycle, and the dryer with regular, soap and stuff like that. I did wash them on cold. I did not set anything special with the dryer. I just stuck them in and let them dry. Now, this is the Chromoblast and the poly-T, as we said before. So let's go ahead and start with that poly-T. So this is what the one with poly-T looks like. The color is still very vibrant. As you guys can see, this is 100% cotton. If we had a little bit of polyester in there, you would notice a little bit more vibrancy on top of that. But I think these colors look great. It held up wonderful. So if you guys want to invest into the poly-T, you're looking at as little as 20 bucks compared to almost $600 getting started. I think it looks great. Like I said, you could definitely prep up all of your t-shirts first one day and just always have them on hand and ready to go. So there you guys have it. It looks great. I do highly recommend that you guys try it out. Now, another thing is, you notice we don't have that fold and bend anymore. It definitely is very pliable with the t-shirt now. It has a slight texture to it that you can tell something's on the t-shirt. Not like vinyl. It's definitely way less than vinyl, and definitely not like screen print. Just almost one with a t-shirt with slight texture. And like I said, color looks great, held up well, got rid of everything around the edges. So it does look very well. So this is the poly-T. And here is the results of the Chromoblast ink. Now for this one does still have a slight texture to it. So for this one, it does have a very screen print feel. I really love that because, like I said, it's almost like a screen print hack compared to a sublimation hack, if you will. So you do get that real slight texture. It's less than screen print, but definitely that feel and that texture. I think the colors held up. No colors were lost or anything like that. The colors did come in just a little bit lighter here on this plaid area with the almost like a brown. These blacks showed up very nice. I'm not too sure what's happened there. I've used this Chromoblast a lot, but just comparing them side by side, I've not done that, but I definitely can see that now and can see that this colors is from the Chromoblast to the sublimation is a little bit lighter than sublimation ink. Once again, both of these are Sawgrass, but one is poly-T versus the Chromoblast. But once again, they held up through the wash, so you guys can see they're going to go great through the washer and the dryer. So I definitely say I recommend both of them. I do think Chromoblast is a lot easier for somebody that has a business per se, because you cut out a lot of steps. You're just going to be printing them out and popping them on. But you could also get these same results with your heat transfer paper that you can use with your inkjet printer. You'll get more of a vinyl feel compared to screen print, but that would also be a little bit more affordable than just diving right in. But if you were business-wise, I would definitely say go straight for it. I do recommend both of them either way. I really do like them, and I do think that they both held up very well in the wash as well as the dryer. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.